Greetings and most humble salutations, my young intrepid explorers. My name is Gabriel Guerrero.
And I am Eli Bessero.
And he's Eli Bessero. Behind the camera is Gabriel Gilpin.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a puppet show presentation of our Keystone species, the beaver, the Antarctic krill, and the Chesapeake Bay oysters. Please enjoy the show. For millions of years, the beaver, also known as the Castoridae, has developed the ability to change their environment to meet their ecological necessities. These beautiful creatures live in the wetlands. Beavers are most well known for building their wooden dams. These dams retain ponds that are full of sediment, nutrients, plants, and wildlife. How kind. These ponds also reduce the flow of water, which reduces the peak flows downstream. This allows for water to be stored and gently releases water during times of drought. This allows for animals to have a proper form of hydration. These little creatures are extremely intelligent. As I have said, beavers have existed for millions of years. So now, let's go back to the beginning. A long time ago.
Time machine noises.
Beavers thrived in wetland environments. They created their natural reservoirs and expanded floodplains, allowing for diverse aquatic habitats. During the pre-colonial and indigenous stewardship era, the indigenous communities in North America and the people in Eurasia coexisted with the beavers, acknowledging their ecological benefits. They saw that beavers played a large role in creating wetlands for fish, amphibians, and birds. They were also great for supporting local ecosystems and hunting grounds. What kind animals? During the European colonization and fur trade era, however, beavers were extremely oppressed. The demand for beaver pelts were increasing at incredible rates. And oh look, here comes one of their natural predators right now, the hunter. Tragic. This led to overhunting and causing a dramatic decline in the beaver population. Following the decrease in population of beavers, wetland loss was an issue that arose. Beaver dams were being removed with less beavers around to maintain them. This led to water being drained out of large areas, increased erosion, and losses in biodiversity, which altered river dynamics. Water being drained out of large areas caused the lands that were considered beaver-rich areas to transition into becoming drier landscapes. This reduced the availability of water and affected plant and animal populations. Now, we move on to the present day and what beavers are doing now. Throughout the 20th and 21st century, beaver conservation efforts have begun. The beaver species was now being recognized as extremely valuable to ecosystems and has been successfully reintroduced into areas like Scotland, the western United States, and parts of Europe, helping to re-establish wetlands that had originally been degraded and restored ecosystem health. With the beaver now being reintroduced, what does the future look like for these creatures? Despite beavers being extremely useful creatures, they can sometimes be a bit of a nuisance. Those silly beavers. Beavers may be able to get into farmland, roads, and infrastructure, which will require management strategies like flow devices to prevent excessive amounts of beavers from entering these lands. However, conservation and reintroduction efforts are being worked on by scientists to this day. They continue to study the long-term effects of beavers on ecosystems, especially in areas where wetlands may have been lost. In conclusion, these beavers have shaped the ecosystems for millions of years and are still present to this day. What hard, valuable workers. Throughout all this, they have influenced water systems, biodiversity, and landscape formation. After near extinction, they were reintroduced to multiple ecosystems and are helping combat environmental degradation and climate change. What a kind, useful beaver.
Going down south, we meet our next keystone species. This plucky little fellow is known as the Euphrasia superba, or the Antarctic krill. And in this documentary, his name is Jonathan P. Shrimpling. Say hello, Jonathan. Ah, what a guy. As the name implies, this tiny crustacean lives in the southern Antarctic Ocean. That's quite cold down there. This little guy is Shrimply, a small crustacean with characteristics similar to others like shrimps and prawns, with those big black eyes, exoskeletons, and the red tint that comes with those exoskeletons. What a cute little guy. Weighing in at a hefty 1 gram and measuring an above average 6 centimeters, the Antarctic krill could and probably krill be unseen by most other creatures due to its tiny stature. The Antarctic krill is quite a social species. Like many other small species, the Antarctic krill live in swarms with many others of its kind, with a cubic meter swarm having up to 30,000 prawns. Imagine that! What a big number for such a tiny little guy. Being an omnivore, the krill's diet consists of algae, food waste on the sea floor, other animals, and phytoplankton, which happens to be its primary food source. What makes the Antarctic krill a keystone species is in the animals that depend on it. Despite only weighing just a measly single gram, some of the biggest animals on Earth, such as the baleen and blue whales, rely on the tiny krill as its primary food source. Come out, baleen! Oh, look at that. Ah, what a guy, what a guy. According to the article, Creature Feature, Krill and Whales, published by The Shape of Life, blue whales, the largest animals that ever lived, eat up to 4 tons of krill a day to fuel their huge bodies. That's quite impressive. In addition to whales, other species that rely on krill as their food source are seabirds, namely the petrel, there he is, and the emperor penguin. The emperor penguin is one of my favorite types of penguins, along with the rockhopper and the little penguin, as they depend on the krill as its primary food source. Despite its miniature nature, Antarctic krill is an essential part of its ecosystem, with many organisms depending heavily on it as its primary food source. If the krill population started to decline, it would significantly impact all of the ocean, as all those animals would have nothing to eat. From the humble emperor penguin to the colossal blue whale, this little guy has shrimply had a massive impact on its environment.
In a world full of sea creatures, us oysters are one of those that often go unnoticed. We don't swim and we don't look very compelling, so unless we are sitting on a silver platter on a luxury beachside resort, typically no one bats an eye. Though us breathing rocks may seem boring and unattractive, we interesting play one of the most important roles of an ocean's ecosystem. In this episode of How the Oyster Came to Be, we will be diving back to around 2500 BC when the first dated oyster was founded, and journey our way up to now to understand how us shell-bounded marvels support the land underneath. For our spotlight today, we will be looking at a certain type of oyster, and even more specifically, me, the Chesapeake Bay oyster. Now, legend has it that a man by the name of Captain John Smith came along in the early 1600s and discovered my great ancestors while relaxing in a salt bath. In my opinion, this man was the introduction to a mass killing among the oyster population, but of course, I may be a little biased. As soon as we discovered, the people of the humankind couldn't keep their hands off us. As time has gone on, our population significantly declined. The humans have completely dominated over us and have almost completely forgotten we exist. Overfishing, pollution, diseases, and much more have collaboratively made the environment exponentially more dangerous for not just us oysters, but our prey, predators, and even some species not even involved in our food web. Speaking of predators and prey, I believe I sense some dangerous activity approaching.
'Tis me, Eugene Krabs. I am one of the Chesapeake Bay's oyster's natural predators. Not only am I a predator for young oysters, but also a habitat for some. You see, many small oysters live inside my shell for protection, which allows me to help them as providing food for me later on. Though I'm a huge predator for this delicious creature, these fish swimming around here are just as dangerous for the oysters. Oh yeah, and before I head out, I would just like you children at home to let your parents know that I take tips. More specifically, any tips over the amount of $20. Money.
Blub, 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 blub. Hello, I am the Gerald the Fish. I am the second predator to this strange shelled species. I don't really know what they are, but they taste pretty good once you can pry at them. Now that I have introduced myself, let me now exit and let Mr. Oyster take over and have his last few words before I snack on him.
Now that they're out of the way, Let us get to the point. Despite my size, I am one of the most important species on this bay. For one, I act as the engineer of the ocean by altering and shaping the marine environment, creating habitats, and improving water quality. Second, we are great filters. We pump water through our gills and trap nutrients and pollutants, eventually allowing the water to exit in a clean way. In the end, us Chesapeake Bay oysters are more than just a delicacy. We are a keystone species. From filtering water to providing habitats for other species, our impact will always ripple through the bay. Protecting us means protecting the health, balance, and future of the Chesapeake Bay. By understanding our vital role, we can take action to restore our populations and ensure our incredible thriving ecosystem. You can't wreck the surprise.
That's
Okay, go.
I'll be back.
No.
No, Gabriel, please. I want to go home.
Now?
Yes. You
Alright, sorry.
go.
Okay, now? Hold on.
Greetings and salutations, intrepid explorers.
Okay.
or whatever.
Hi, Philip.
Hi, Philip. Okay. Thank you so much for watching our show. We hope you enjoyed. I've been Eli.
This is Gabriel.
Oh, I've been Ling Ling.
And thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.